Hey, Truther family. It's Bosco Nick with Find Your Truth. And don't mind me, I may not look at the camera because I'm going to be driving. But I've got a few things to say today. So I got told to get a permit by my code enforcer in our area here. And he basically told me that I need to go pay $10 for a permit for this dumpster. And when you read the rules and the regulations and their statutes, because that's all they really are, they're not laws, they're just rules, regulations, and statutes or opinions, backed by the threat of force and extortion. And see, right there's a blue bag of trash, municipal building, outside. So anyhow, told me that I need to pay this $10 for this permit. And when I read the laws and everything and went through, it was quite contradictive and all that. And then when I spoke to the township supervisor, which basically told me that nobody attends any of the township meetings, so they're only there for like 13 to 18 minutes at most, maybe a half hour. And there's no way you're going to come up with rules, regulations, and statutes in 13 to 18 minutes without at least having some people, at least a group of people from the town to hear it or proofread it. You know what I mean? So they're just coming up with this stuff, whether it contradicts itself or not, whether it erodes your rights, constitutional rights or not, and it doesn't matter because nobody has time or nobody knows or nobody cares to want to know when the meetings are, and they don't go. And I think it's because people feel like they don't have an opinion, because you have an opinion, but are they gonna respect and honor it as the public servants that they are, and the duties that they swore to uphold and perform? And anyway, the code enforcement guy tells me that the permits are good for a year. So, jerks. So anyway, he's telling me the permits are good for a year, and the lady that I spoke to in the office, who would know the paperwork properly, says that the permits are good for 2 weeks. But the township supervisor had the audacity to say that this man knows what he's doing and he wouldn't be telling you what to do if he didn't know. And I said, well, how do I know that? I have the lady recorded saying that they're only, valid for 2 weeks. This guy's trying to tell me they're good for a year. So if he doesn't know his paperwork, how does he even know what's written in the books and if it makes any sense? That's his job. His job is to go through those rules, regulations, and statutes to assure that there's no contradiction and loophole, and that there's a pure understanding of each individual subsection or section in that, in that paperwork. And they don't. When I was there, it was a constant circle of the same thing. There was no real... And there's really no, there was no understanding of any of it. So, basically, they come up with this stuff within 13 to 18 minutes, half hour at most, because they don't want to sit there all day. They don't want to read all that paperwork and go through all that stuff and, yada, yada, yada. So they don't. You know, they just say, oh, well, it is what it is, whether it makes sense or not. Here you go. You know, now the town's screwed, even if you're doing the right thing. You know? And then they'll sit there, and they sat there and they said that what they say trumps the state. I don't see how. Small government versus big government versus bigger government. Yeah. I don't see it. So, and if the people don't, if the people don't accept what they say, well, then the power is supposed to be returned back to the people respectively, according to the Constitution, which, once again, I said is being eroded every single day. And he said, well, there's no erosion of your rights or constitutional rights here. You're doing it right now. You're extorting me, okay? And you're threatening me with extortion and caging me like an animal and using excessive violence and force and coercion to get me to do what you want me to do. So, you know, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So if your people are wondering why your towns are falling apart, why your areas are falling apart, it's because you're not saying anything. And if you're the wrong kind of person with the wrong ideology and you're just totally ass backwards, don't attend. Because all you're going to do is the same thing they're going to do. Is not give a shit about anyone else and what they think. Even the right people. Everybody will get screwed. Inside and out. Doesn't matter. So that's where we are. And I hope some people got, you know, some good information out of that. And I'll try to come up with some more information as the day goes by or as time goes on. We'll see here. Because I'm gonna go up and pay that $10 extortion fee for that stupid piece of paper. That only lasts 2 weeks, and it's, you know, the dumpster may be there less than 10 days, and it doesn't really matter, you know. Bosco Nick with Find Your Truth, and I hope you find your truth. Like, share, subscribe, share on any platform, or don't. It's up to you. Freedom of choice should be up to you. And I'm out.